Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Edmonds Racing Preview Show. Toby's joining us on the perch to bring us all the latest stable news and previews. And how are we feeling heading to the weekend, mate? Big weekend, Alpine Edge, the return.
Yeah, good morning, Adam. Thanks for the intro there. Exciting for a horse of his quality to resume. Sent him away to during the spring to Melbourne and formed well in the Caulfield Guineas Prelude, but then wasn't as good in the Guineas itself. Very tough field though, and he's come back. He's had quite a while off, and we actually had him back in to try and get him ready for Magic Million Day, but he wasn't quite right. He didn't travel home that well, so then we tipped him out and gave him a good spell. So I think that's been that's been of most benefit to him. He looks great. He's a big, strong colt now. He's always been big, but he probably hadn't grown into his frame. You'll see him tomorrow. You'll see a big lad now. So looking forward to it.
Very good. Well, no doubt the Lucky Clover team are very excited heading into the weekend, and we'll speak about him in more detail shortly. But before we do that, there was a big series of trials here at the Gold Coast earlier this week. You had a number of runners who looked like they performed well to the eye. Were there any that people should follow out there?
Yeah. Look, a horse we just got off Michael Costa, a horse called This Land Is My Land. Wasn't really wanting him to do a great deal. The track was a bit testing on Tuesday, and a bit cut up, so we just wanted to use it for a bit of fitness. But he was quite competitive, by himself too, which was good. And he trialled up nicely, so I thought he was good. He's a nice horse by territories. The 2-year-old's Corfie Castle was good. His first trial. Boca Riva was good. She's a really nice filly, Boca Riva. I think we might have spoke about her already. But there's a number of them. We could, go through every trial and we could pick out one or two that have gone pretty good. But just from memory and to the naked eye, those 3 trialled pretty good to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess all going well, you should have a good wave of horses then coming through.
Yeah. We've been a bit quiet on runners, so you'd think in the next coming weeks we're going to probably going to be busy from here on in, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into the preview and Doom and Saturday. It's the Lucky Clover show because they're your 2 runners who are engaged here. Let's start with Alpine Edge. Obviously excited to see him back in action in the listed Mick Dittman plate over the 11:10, drawn barrier 5 for Robbie Fradd, and you're happy with him heading in?
Yeah. Look, he comes off a really nice trial a few weeks ago. Only one trial into it. He has been in work quite a while. He's been in work some 16 weeks going into this, I think it is. So he's had plenty of groundwork. His trial was he didn't have blinkers on in his trial, but he got blinkers on tomorrow. It's a pretty hot race, this one, where it's going to be fairly good pressure and tempo. And our guy, he can just get a little bit, what's the word called, switch off from time to time. As he did in his trial, even though he won his trial, he did switch off around the back there, and then once he balanced up, he ran up to the line. I don't think we can afford to have that happening tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
So carried blinkers in the Caulfield Guineas will possibly over the top in that race, and maybe not quite up to that Group 1 level at that time. So I'm prepared to forgive him for that run, but certainly he performed. He's been at this level now since he's 2. Obviously, Shakiro in the race is Magic Million winner. We ran second to him. Both horses are Robert Heathcote's, obviously pretty good. The Spirit of Boom horse has come back off a throat op and looks to be going extremely well. And his good filly Star Tontes has been away and performed at Group 1 level, which is be pretty good form going into this. Whether she's quite an 1100, going to be at her best at 1100, might be better when she gets out a bit, but certainly it's a hot race, But our guys, he's been in and around these horses all his life, and I'd expect him to be in the finish there somewhere.
And what are you thinking distance-wise with him? As you say, he's a bit mature. He's benefited from that Melbourne trip. What are you thinking will be his ideal lane?
I thought he was terribly unlucky in the Guineas Prelude, which was 1400.
1400, yeah.
I'm quite confident he can get that far. We tried to stretch him out to a mile. That didn't quite work, but he could be just purely a sprinter. I'm not sure. We'll let him progress and let him tell us where we get to. But certainly up to 1400, I think he's going to be quite effective, whatever we run him in. And if he's placed to advantage, he's going to be, he'll have his presence felt throughout the winter.
Okay, well, good luck to everyone involved there with Alpine Edge. Great to see him back at the races. And the colours will be flying earlier on in the day. Indian Dreamer,
Yep.
flying the flag for the Lucky Clover team in the benchmark 90 handicap over the 2200. So he's been building up to this sort of trip now. And, barrier 4 for Ben Thompson. He's never far away, is he, in his races?
He's an honest horse without winning too many races. He was good the other day. Actually, he sort of ducked in behind the I think the eventual winner, possibly ducked in behind it, and I think if he would have got to the outside of it, he finishes a lot closer, certainly, but whether he would have won or not, I'm not sure, but he would have, certainly run a place. Anyway, he's ticked over nicely between runs. He's probably run this race 5 times and get 5 different winners, by the way. They're all about that level. But he's going to carry one of the true weights tomorrow, so that's interesting, 52 kilos. With Ben Thompson on, who can ride that weight no problem. So he's in well at the weights. Tough. It's a tough race without being, a tough. They're not Group 1 horses, obviously.
Yeah, but they're all very
even.
But
all very even, as I mentioned.
Sure.
You could run it 5 or 6 times and get 5 or 6 different winners. So he'll be in and around there somewhere. 2200 is interesting. On Larry Cassidy, who rode him beautifully the other day, on his advice, he said he'll get out a bit further. So we decided to go that way, and here we are tomorrow.
Well, he was winding up late, wasn't he?
He was winding up late. He's one of those who just keep coming. He just needs to get a bit of cover early and switch off, and then he'll finish off.
Okay.
He always looks under pressure a long way out, but he keeps trying. So that's probably a good trait.
He tries hard.
He does.
Good on you. Well, good luck to Indian Dreamer and the connections involved there. Let's turn our attention to the Gold Coast home track Saturday. Ballistic Babes entered for a fillies and mares maiden over the 1400 and barrier 1 for Mr. Noel Callow. Do you think she had a while between runs, didn't she?
She
waiting
did, yeah.
for a dry track. Do you think she'll improve off that last one?
Hopefully this track's a bit drier tomorrow. It's been holding the weather quite a bit, this track, so hopefully it's okay tomorrow. But she's drawn one, so not going to be many excuses. She ran reasonably well at the sunny coast, hadn't run for quite a while. I think she's improved quite a bit, worked nicely on Tuesday morning, so she's going to get a chance in what is an open race as well.
Okay. Well, good luck to the Archer Park team involved there with Ballistic Babe. And we then move on to alconey in the Class 3 handicap over the 1200. 4th up here and seems to be improving with each run this prep.
He's been building up to a win. It's a couple of runs up there on the sunny coast, getting ready for a 1200. He's got a nice barrier. He's going to get cover, and he should be pretty strong tomorrow. So his work was really good Tuesday morning on the course proper behind Alpine Edge and his work partner winier. So I think he can run well.
Okay. Well, speaking of work partners, winier is the next runner who's entered for the Sunshine Coast on Sunday and also Bow Desert Anzac Day. Trialled well here at the Gold Coast, which was sort of 3 weeks ago, the previous set of trials. And you expecting a good showing first up? I
am. He's been Alpine Edge's work partner for the last 2 weeks. They're both 3-year-olds, both quite good workers. So we teamed them up together to get them to the fitness level that they needed. His work's been really sharp. Worked super over here last Saturday morning on our big grass with Alpine Edge. He was very sharp. I would suggest whichever race we run him, and he's going to be hard to beat. We're just undecided whether we go Sunday or Monday yet. Monday's a cutest race, so we possibly could just wait for that out there. I suppose the other thing I need to mention, I think there's forecast for a little bit of rain.
There is, yeah.
Not a great deal. There's a lot up north, whether we get the tail end of that down here. So we just need to be mindful if the viewers are having a punt on how these tracks handle it if it does happen to rain. So things could go south very quickly.
Okay, so on weather watch with winier.
Yep.
So they're the 5 runners. Best bet?
I'll probably winier. I think he's just in that lower grade where he should be able to handle those horses, and whichever race, as I mentioned, Sunday or Monday, whichever one we run in, pretty confident he'll be thereabouts.
All right, so everyone just has to keep an eye on the fields and scratchings to work out which race over the weekend for winier.
For sure.
All right, well, very good. That's the wrap. Good luck to yourself and everyone over the weekend.
Thanks, Ads.